Hello. Thank you for the introduction. And yes, welcome to my presentation on adaptive mission planning, integrating cognitive assistance and manned-unmanned teaming operations. So first, I want to briefly introduce the context of my research, which is military air operations. And these operations are currently exclusively manned. Okay, thank you. And yeah, but some of these team members will be replaced by unmanned aerial vehicles in the future, and operated by cognitive agents on board. And the humans and the UAVs form a manned-unmanned team where the human pilot leads to mission success by with his cognitive abilities, while the unmanned vehicles reduce the risk for the manned fighter. And to effectively execute missions, the human pilot is supported by a cognitive agent inside his cockpit. And the focus of this presentation will be one of these assistance systems responsible for planning, mission management, and task delegations. So what is the objective of my research in this presentation? It is to transition from traditional and conventional mission planning methods to a more efficient and intelligent technological solution to support the pilots during mission execution. So for that objective, two main questions arise. The first one is, what technical methods can be used to design and implement a mixed initiative planning agent for high complex military air operations? And the second one is, what are the effects of integrating such an agent and the level of automations or resistance of this agent on decision-making, situational awareness, mental workload, and also on mission success? So to design such an assistance system, we use a work system design approach. So in a work system, there are two main roles: the workers and the tools. And the workers understand, know, and pursue the mission objective on own initiative, while the tools execute the given tasks by the workers using their given capabilities. So, and for one team member, there is not too much trouble for the human pilot to delegate tasks and create a mission plan. But it can be quite demanding when there are already 3 team members. And so the first level of assistance is to provide a cognitive agent on the tool side, which we call a scheduler, which takes the defined tasks by the pilot and distributes them on the team. So, but taking modern human factors engineering approaches into account and implementing AI technologies, and also to close the cognitive loop, we provide an planning assistance agent to the pilot, which can collect data, analyze them, make decisions, and execute the actions without a human effort. And this planning assistance agent supports the pilot on task delegation and distribution, and also offers plan optimizations and assists him in critical situations. So let's take a deeper look inside this planning assistance agent. So what are the required capabilities of this? First, it needs to be able to plan, and we divided the planning on 3 different levels. First, the strategic level, so what should be done. Then the tactical level, how to execute the plan, and the operational level, what are the specific actions for each tactical decision. So, and second, the planning assistance agent needs to be able to assist, and for that, it needs analysis skills. So what is the current situation and what does the pilot wants to do? Optimization skills, so are there optimization potentials of the pilot's current plan? And communication skills, so how to communicate the optimization proposals inside the cockpit. Yeah, here we see the general architecture of this planning assistance agent, and it starts its work on different triggers, like the pilot directly requests assistance, so give me a mission plan, or a change of the environment. And the plan creation module is responsible for planning on the 3 different levels. And these plans are provided to the assistance modules, which analyze the criticality of the situation to provide immediate assistance, for example, or check the plans of the pilots if there is an optimization potential, like reduce the research usage or reduce the risk for the team. And the output is a mission plan, plan optimizations, and the corresponding assistance messages. Yeah, we evaluated the planning assistance agents with 2 experiments. The first one was the planning validation experiment, where we validated if the planning agent can create a valid mission plan. And here was the focus solely on the plan creation module. And the second experiment was the assistance verification experiment, where we verified the assistance capabilities of this planning agent, where the focus was mainly on the assistance modules, but also on the planning modules, because without the planning, the assistance doesn't work. Yeah, for both experiments, we had 10 experienced German Air Force fighter pilots ranged from 32 to 59 years, and they had an average flight experience of nearly 1,600 hours on different platforms like Eurofighter or Tornado, and some as drone operators. So for the planning validation experiment, what was the objective? We wanted to validate if the planning agent can create a valid mission plan that meets the mission objectives, creates a clear plan that is efficient and trustworthy, and do the plans lead even to mission success? So as a procedure, there was a successive briefing of 4 static situations that had a different starting point in mission progress, different number of targets to achieve, different timing constraints, and resources available. And yeah, the pilots created a mission plan using a tasking interface. Okay. Okay. Now we should see a video where the pilot select an object on the map, and then a radial context menu opens. He can select a task or a tactic and delegate it to the mission planning interface, and on that way he would create a plan. Yes. And now this will be also not playing, I think. Yeah, perfect. And yeah, the results of the planning agent were displayed on another workplace to the workstation to the pilots. And here we would see that when the pilot clicks here on this generate plan button, complete mission plan will be created, should be. Yeah. And yeah, the pilots compared their own plans with the plans of the PEA and evaluated them using questionnaires and structured interviews. And we evaluated the mission success of the plans through a fully automated simulation. Yeah, here we see 2 heat maps representing the mission success and the UAV losses. And on the right side, we see the results of the planning assistance agent. And we see that the plans of the agent were always successful with no UAV losses, and only 40% of the pilots could achieve that rate. And there were multiple reasons for that, like not meeting the mission objectives already during planning. So the pilots sometimes made really complex plans that they couldn't achieve the mission objective in the given time, or they sometimes even planned the objectives in the wrong order. Or there was potential for success for the pilots, but only when we would do active replanning during mission execution, what was not done in this procedure. So here we see the results of some of the questions and overall average over all pilots in all situations. And yeah, the pilots quite completely agreed that the automated plan achieved the set goals and tasks, and the plan was clear and comprehensive, and they would use such a system in the future. But they also stated that sometimes the plan included errors or unfavorable decisions, and also sometimes the plan didn't make appropriate decisions. So in summary, the planning assistance agent can create reliable and effective mission plans that achieve the mission objectives, and the pilots appreciated the completeness, clarity, and effectiveness. But there was criticism that there was too much focus on effectiveness, which reduced the freedom of movement of the team in the target area, and with that increased the risk for the team. So, but the PA can be an efficient and powerful tool for mission planning and potentially enhancing operational effectiveness and success. So for the assistance verification experiment, the objective was the investigation of the usability, interactions, and the effects on workload trust, situational awareness, and mission success of the of assistance through the planning assistance agent and on different assistance levels. We implemented 3 different assistance levels. The first one, which works mainly like management by concepts, which we call medium assistance. Here, the planning assistance agent generates proposals, which the pilot can choose to see them and evaluate them and then accept or reject them. Then the second assistance level, which works like management by exception, which we call high assistance. Here, the planning agent directly executes the changes, informs the pilot, and the pilot can decide to keep them or go back to the original plan. And situation adapted assistance, where depending on the criticality of the situation, the pilot, the planning agent triggers the medium or the high assistance. So the procedure for this experiment was that we executed the experiment in our fully integrated MOMT fighter simulator in our lab. And there was a successive execution of a total of 4 missions with different assistance levels. And yeah, questionnaires and a debriefing on the current mission after each mission. And after the last mission, an overall questionnaire covering all assistance levels. For all experimental missions, we had the same mission objectives. So the manned fighter had to keep a geographical distance to the UAVs until reaching the target area, which marks the end of the so-called ingress phase, and a safe entrance in the target area through enemy territory while suppressing enemy air defenses, and a manual engagement of the target by the manned fighter in a specific time window. We evaluated the mission success if the target was neutralized in a specified time window, and the distances to the UAVs were maintained during the ingress phase and the end of the ingress phase. Here we see a heat map which represents the results of mission success, and we see that without assistance, only 3 pilots were able to accomplish the mission objective. With medium assistance, we could increase this rate to 7 pilots who were successful, but with the high assistance, only 4 pilots reached the mission objective. But with the situation adapted assistance, 8 pilots were successful. The lower rates for the high assistance were mainly because that's what the pilot stated, that they didn't always recognize that the plans were changed through the agent. And so the UAVs were taking a different route, and yeah, some pilots were shut down in simulation or lost all UAVs because they weren't doing what they had in mind when they created the plan themselves. So here we see the plots for the ingress end time, how long it took the pilots to reach the target area, and the duration, how long they did not keep the distance to the UAVs. And we see a reduction for medium assistance and situation adapted assistance even more for both times, but an increase for the high assistance, which also reflects the mission success rates. Yeah, here we see the plots for the TLX score and the SAT score. Yeah, the TLX score we obtained through the NASA TLX questionnaire, which reflects the perceived mental workload. And yeah, we see no reduction in mental workload in our experiments, even with assistance through the agent, which shows that the experiments or the experimental missions were quite demanding, and even the pilot stated that were, in terms of risk and difficulty, they were quite realistic in the capabilities we had to simulate. But we see, especially for the adapted assistance level, a high increase of the SAT score, which reflects the perceived situational awareness of the pilots. So here we see the results of the questionnaires, which collects the acceptance, trust, and usability of the planning assistance agent through the pilots. And yeah, we see nearly the same results for the medium and adapted assistance levels, and a decrease of in the 3 categories for the high assistance level, which reflects the mission success rates. And yeah, also, yeah, sorry. And yeah, in summary, there's a noticeable progress by integrating an adaptive mixed initiative planning assistant, and the use of the planning assistance agent increased mission success, situational awareness, and trust in technology, but no decrease in the workload. And yeah, the situation adapted assistance was the most useful level of assistance, and particularly useful was the efficient automated task assignment, the coping with unforeseen threats, and proposals of plan optimizations. But there is a potential for improvement, like increasing the clarity and salience of the assistance messages. Yes, so thank you for your attention, and I'm happy to answer any questions.